Public Bank booked a record quarterly net profit of 1.53 billion ringgit for the first quarter of FY21, largely thanks to lower interest expense incurred in the period, which more than offset weaker revenue. Net profit was up 15.1% from 1.33 billion ringgit last year. Earnings per share grew to 7.88 sen from 6.85 sen in the first quarter of FY20. Revenue declined 8.8% to 5.03 billion ringgit. Public Bank Chairman Tan Sri Dr. Teh Hong Piao said the banking industry is expected to perform better in 2021 on the back of an improved operating environment. Still, the lender is mindful of ongoing downside risks that could pose further disruptions to the banking business. Teh, who is Public Bank's founder and controlling shareholder, said strategic business direction, prudent risk management practices and cost efficiency measures will remain on the group's business agenda so that it can continue to withstand uncertainties and respond appropriately to any changes. Shares of Public Bank closed unchanged at 4 ringgit 10 sen, valuing the banking group at 79.6 billion ringgit. Despite the return of a nationwide MCO, Bank Negara expects the Malaysian economy to grow within the projected 6% to 7.5% this year. Bank Negara Governor Datuk Noor Muhammad Yunus explained during a virtual briefing today that the impact from the restrictions should be less severe this time around, since most economic activities will be allowed to remain open. She also ruled out a blanket loan moratorium, advising borrowers to reach out to their respective banks instead should they require any financial assistance. Overall, she said, while there will be speed bumps along the way, Malaysia's economic recovery remains on track, with this year's headline inflation forecast at 2.5% to 4%. In the first quarter of the year, the country's gross domestic product shrank by 0.5%, an improvement from a contraction of 3.4% in the preceding quarter, on the back of improvement in domestic demand and robust exports. Headline inflation turned positive at 0.5% from a 1.5% contraction in the fourth quarter of last year. Prior to the central bank's briefing, CGS-CIMB warned this morning that MCO 3.0 could shave 0.3 percentage points per month of Malaysia's GDP growth this year. It said the lockdown could erode economic growth, which it had projected to be at 5.7% this year, and raised its estimated daily economic loss in Malaysia's economy to 300 million ringgit per day versus 200 million ringgit per day for a targeted MCO 3.0 and 150 million ringgit per day for a CMCO. Syed Mohammed Noor is stepping down as Pos Malaysia's Group CEO with effect from June 1st. After serving the company for close to 3 years, the company is now searching for a suitable replacement. Syed Najib was appointed to his post in October 2018, when there was a structural decline in mail volume and a major shift in consumer behaviour towards what Pos Malaysia termed as digitally abled platforms. Under Syed Najib's stewardship, various initiatives were employed, and the success of which, among others, was the achievement of the integral postal tariff rebalancing, which was the second tariff increase in 28 years. Pos Malaysia's shares closed 2.3% lower at 85.5 cents today, valuing the group at 669.27 million ringgit. Softbank Corp is investing 250 million ringgit or $60 million in Axiata Group's digital marketing subsidiary Ada for a 23.07% stake in the company, establishing Ada's 1.07 billion ringgit or $260 million valuation. Following Softbank's entry, Axiata Digital will remain as Ada's majority shareholder with a 63.47% stake. Axiata Digital is a 96.47% subsidiary of Axiata. Axiata's president and group CEO Datuk Izzaddin Idris said the Japanese telecommunications company is both a financial and strategic investor, given that it has interests in other digital companies around the world, including Line, Sonera, and Incudata. He added that Ada expects to benefit from the unlocking of significant global synergistic opportunities. Ada will also be established as Softbank's core digital and data marketing partner in Asia. According to Izzadin, Ada serves over 1,300 clients in the region. Its revenue has tripled since its launch 3 years ago, recording positive EBITDA in the last 2 years. Together with an existing partnership with Sumitomo Corp, the alliance is expected to further fuel Ada's growth momentum. Axiata ended trading today unchanged at RM3.66. Lumbago Ankatan Tentera has declared an improved dividend of 3.5% for FY20 versus 2.5% in FY19 as earnings rose by 147% to RM229 million. In a statement today, Senior Minister of Defence Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said that results were driven by the successful implementation of high-impact initiatives via the fund's transformation plan. This enabled the fund to record an increased retained profit of RM287.5 million after payment of dividends amounting to a total of RM310.7 million, compared with retained profit of RM63.5 million for 2019. As at December 31st, 2020, assets under management totaled RM9.6 billion. Ismail commended LTAT's results, noting that this was achieved amid the challenging economic climate brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as lower dividends received from investment companies. According to the minister, the fund will continue to enhance its prospects via a transformation plan premised on strengthening and rebalancing its investment portfolio while improving its organizational structure, risk management, corporate governance practices, and human capital development.